I stopped in front of the building, a brownstone with white marble facings surrounding a large dark stained oak door. Above the door was a bronze sign. That read, Division 7. Had the sign not been there, you would not have known it from any of the other dozens of buildings. I enter, and in front of me was a desk with an officer sitting before me. Patrolman Stevens reporting for duty. I had just been assigned to this division straight out of the police academy. I held out my papers and he took them. Welcome. He turned to another officer and told him to take me to the map in the next room and show me the beat I would patrol. My post would be a 2-mile by 2-mile block of the city and should take me through it twice a night. It was a foot beat. My shift was 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. There were industrial plants and a few tenements and what the map showed as a large open space. That night, I reported for duty. I looked through the door opening and looked up. There was a full moon shining down. Small, fluffy clouds drifted slowly by. The streetlights shone dimly and were set far apart. I started my rounds. I was in the midst of my second round when I noticed him first. He was small and frail, wearing clothes that were a bit tattered and a bit soiled. He could not have been younger than 7, nor older than 10. He was just standing there. I neared him and noticed that he had the saddest expression. He looked way too sad for one his age. I asked if he was all right, and he started to cry. His tears sparkled like jewels in the bright moonlight. He said that he could not find his mommy or daddy and could not find his way home. Thinking he lived in the residential area, I offered to take him home. As we walked, he told me of his family and his pet dog. He told me of the hours and days that he spent looking at all the wonders about him. Turning his sad face toward me, he said, now he just feels so tired all the time. I said that after a good night's sleep, he and his dog would play happily once more. For a moment, a brief flicker of light caught his little eyes, and a faint smile came to his face. I hope so, he said. We were at the open space and could just see the tenements and their street lamps. I looked down and he was gone. That morning, at the end of my patrol, I went to the desk officer and reported the events of the night. He took me into the joining room and to the map. He asked where I had first seen the boy. I pointed to the plant. He asked where I last saw the boy. I pointed to the open field about midway. A sad look came over his face, and he asked me to sit down. He told me a story. About 150 years ago, there was a farm where the industrial plant now stands. There was a terrible fire, and when it was put out, the house was nothing but ash. A family of 3 and their son's dog perished in the fire. The fire was so hot that all that remained was the badly burned body of the boy. The field was at that time a cemetery, and the boy was laid to rest there. 1 year later, on the full moon nearest his death, a little boy appears and asks help in finding his parents, and when he passes his grave, vanishes. He has done so every year since. I have walked this beat now for 20 years. I have refused promotions to keep this beat. The little boy comes, his sad little face glowing in the moonlight. For a few minutes, he seems happy. We talk. I walk him home.